I was very happy with Leclerc's lap. Wow, because they looked like they were struggling. I really didn't think they were going to get close. And I think Leclerc was saying, and Lawrence, maybe you can back this up. Leclerc was saying that the warm-up procedure was better in the race. And wow, it was really impressive how he got so close to nailing qualifying. And like he said, if he hadn't made that small mistake at turn 10, he would have got pole. That would have been incredible. I mean, we talk about the Red Bull turning around from Friday to Saturday as well. But, I was very impressed with how Ferrari were able to turn it around on Saturday.
Well, but that's my question for Lawrence is, were we expecting a stronger performance at Zandvoort from the Ferraris? I mean, were we expecting them to be the faster car and the winning car?
Yeah, 1,000%. And we weren't just expecting it. Ferrari themselves were expecting to be the faster car. Even if it was by just a fraction, they were expecting things to have turned around from Spa, piling on the downforce for Zandvoort. They generally thought this was the circuit where they could be contenders, which is why they were generally very positive on Saturday evening about their chances. They knew that Max had the fresh set of soft tyres to start the race. They only had used it, so they knew that would be challenging. But I think generally speaking, we were expecting a Ferrari that should, at least try and drag Charles back into the championship fight. And it just didn't turn out that way, particularly with Carlos. Carlos lacked pace throughout the Grand Prix. He was kind of half a second-ish off Charles, and we haven't seen that since the start of the season. How much that's down to is maybe the contact that he had with Lewis right at the start of the race, whether that impacted his performance. And obviously there was the catalogue of errors that happened for him and specifically in his race. But I think the lack of pace, both for Charles and to a greater extent Carlos, is a bigger concern for Ferrari, because if they're struggling on low downforce circuits and they're not able to take the fight to Red Bull on high downforce circuits, where is their sweet spot?
Yeah, that is the question. And we've got a question from, actually, it's John the Storyteller who's come back with a second question, which is, if you're the Ferrari management, how do you feel when you hear Mattia Binotto blaming lack of pace every week when they can't even prepare enough tyres for a pit stop? I suppose I think what John's asking here is, can they get this right? Is it just the car, or I don't know. Actually, I don't even know how to put the question. You get my point, though.
I think that Ferrari can get it right. I just think at the moment there's so many things they need to get right that they're struggling to know maybe which area to hit first, or there's just too many problems at once and they can't really cope with it. And at the start of the season, they had a car that was very fast and they weren't making the most of that pace. Now we're kind of going into the tail end of the season, and Red Bull have kind of gone ahead of them in the development push, and they've got a car that isn't quite there, but they're also not operationally delivering when it matters. So they're kind of got the worst of both worlds. I think Mattia is doing a great job of trying to protect the staff in a way that we haven't often seen Ferrari management do in the past. He's trying to protect them. He's trying to give them some cover. But we're more than 2/3 of the way into this season now, and the mistakes are racking up, and some of them are pretty simple mistakes. And so I think the frustration is growing inside the team. I think the frustration is probably growing among the Tifosi. And they've kind of got to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to kind of give up a little bit on this year and try and focus again on next year? Are they going to take a step back and look at the team and the makeup of the structure and the people that they've got there? And is it the people that they need to change? Is it the processes? There's still quite a lot to do. And really, one positive is, they're back in the championship fight. But it just shows in Formula One, it isn't really just about delivering a strong car and reacting to the rules well. It's making the most of it, having the right people, having the right operations. They've still got a long, long way to go, and they've not challenged for the title for 20 years now, really. Yeah. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that they're not able to just hit the ground running.